The kickoff is made with 53 seconds left on the clock, I think. Salford kind of go sideways in their own 20, and it's looking bad for them.
Yes.
Then the ball goes out to Griffin again. I think Murdoch Masilla, who came back on carrying a massive injury and was manful in doing this, threw a great pass to Griffin, who got on the outside of his man again. Yeah. This time faked the offload, which got Mins involved and got Mins out of position.
That's right.
But he carried the ball through because he outpaced his opposite number, which I think was Graham Horn, who'd come into play in the centres after there'd been the injury to Ben Cockayne.
Ben Cockayne had gone off and had shifted Kensio to full-back. Yeah.
So then he throws a great pass to Evolds, who is captured again by Mins, who does a great job. But Mins plays by the rules. He plays fair. He lets Evolds get up. He doesn't foul him and make it a penalty and make it pretty much game over at that point, because all the momentum of the move and the play and everything's sort of slowed down. Salford throw 3 long balls to the right, the third of which was from Mark Flanagan, which was, let's be fair, borderline.
Flat. We'll call it flat Flanagan.
It was looping. I think it probably was backwards out of the hands, but it was such a long pass to throw, throwing it from left to right. Yeah. It was a phenomenal pass.
Awesome.
And then the centre gets it, puts Johnson in, who goes in and scores. The conversion is interrupted by a bottle getting thrown at Gaz O'Brien, which is an unfortunate prelude to what we're going to talk about in a minute. In fact, we'll talk about that after we do the fan reviews. Yeah. Because we don't want to get sidetracked again. He misses a conversion, which I thought was his best opportunity of winning the game, to be honest. But Salford get the ball back and I'm not sure how it ended up like this, because I'm not sure if they even won the toss, but they get the wind.
No, they won the toss.
Right, so they've obviously chosen to have the wind.
And you saw Dobson pointing with the wind. So that's him knowing the...
I thought the other way. I thought it'd happen the other way around. Hull KR won the toss and wanted to kick off, so then Salford said, well, we'll go that way. Because Hull KR wanted to kick off, put Salford under pressure, make Salford make a mistake, and then have the ball close to the sticks to score the 1-pointer. That's what I thought happened.
I remember who I saw where then.
But either way, Salford do a reasonable set. They have a couple of chances at half breaks, doesn't really materialise, and you sort of think it's going nowhere. The last 2 plays of the set weren't great. Gaz O'Brien gets past the ball, doesn't he, on tackle 5?
Yeah.
Crosses the halfway line with purpose. Plus boots the ball.
Just and so, though.
And still at this point, everyone's sort of thinking he's just going to put it up and hope there's a mistake.
Yeah. Well, he kicks
47 metres out or so, absolutely hammers it. It flies over the post. Yeah. Flies over the crossbar. By about 10-15 metres it clears it.
It was a huge kick.
He's running, pelting it to the Salford fans with the ball still halfway to the sticks. Yeah. Incredible.
He knew it was over. The second it left
78 minutes.
Just turns and
18-10. 80 minutes plus 45 seconds, 19-18, 18-19, unbelievable. Yeah. Even more dramatic than last year's Aussie Grand Final.
Yeah, it was fantastic stuff, wasn't it?
Because 2 scores were needed this time around in that sort of time.
No, it was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And you will wait a long, long time to see something like that repeated. Yeah. A long, long time. So never.
I think all the players involved in it should remember it as a momentous sort of game, and I hope that they all do get to keep some sort of jobs. I'm sure none of them will be turfed out of their houses or in food banks or anything, like hundreds of and thousands of people in our current climate. But
perspective is important.
But all the best to the Hull KR players and staff, because it is and fans, because it is a hard thing to take. But I'm sure they'll be back. Yeah, and they are a good club.
I agree, so too. Stats though, we got some stats in on this one. Do you want to let us know who stood out individually? Not that it really matters.
Josh Griffin with a try assist.
Brian stood out.
Josh Griffin with a try assist and 240 running metres. Niall Evolds with 2 tries, 151 metres and 3 clean breaks, which is quite an effort for someone who didn't come onto the pitch until about 15-20 minutes into the game. Yeah. Mark Flanagan 52 tackles, 14 of which were marker tackles, and George Griffin 50 tackles, 12 of which were marker tackles, were 2 of the fit forwards that Salford were able to rely on to really put themselves. And after making 52 tackles, 14 of them marker tackles, to put that pass in, unbelievable.
Absolutely. And for defeated Hull KR.
Right, yeah, Josh Mantolato with a try, 141 metres. Adam Walker, who had a really strong game, actually. A try, 150 metres, 3 successful offloads. Ken C over 166 metres, and Sean Lump with a try assist, 6 tackle loss, 170 metres, 2 clean breaks, and probably is the most unfortunate man on the pitch at the end of that, to be on the losing side.
Yeah, you would say so, wouldn't you? Okay. Dr. Bob Phillips, lovely to hear from you. He says, bloody hell, they did it. I'm not sure how, but they did. Paul Campbell says, someone want to explain what I just saw? What a game. Gutted for Thomas Mins. He deserved Super League. Fat Boy Rob, I don't often watch other brackets lesser teams, but I'm glad I did. What a finish. Salford looked dead and buried for 75 minutes. I wish they'd stayed there. Having said that, it's fun to laugh at Peacock. Just Davies 90 says, that was a mental game. Okay, I dominated the whole contest, but thanks to 2 frantic tries and a magnificent drop goal, they are out of Super League. A cruel sport. Lofty Wada said O'Brien showed character after missing a buzzer conversion. He puts his balls on the table and smashed a field goal from the car park to complete the Devils' comeback and win the game. Great turn of phrase, mate. Tremendous finish. Mark Butler. If social media reflects life, and I am disturbed to think it does, we seem to be sidelined from the world's best sport, delivering the goods by hand-wringing over the structure. Will this ever stop? Amazing drama shouldn't be ignored by people complaining we aren't the only sport that protects everyone in it. Wally Frogmore, my dream of Marwan tears were dashed. Louis Karma eluded again, but what a finish. KR fans had to have thought that in the last minute they had won it, but what a try and what a monster field goal. Fair play at the cap cheating, DV offending, harbouring, and he goes on to say
domestic violence.
Yes, I know.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but he's written DV, so I was reading what he wrote. I'm burgundying it. Offending Kents, he was kind enough to put. Lee Whitnall, at the end of the £1 million game, was the perfect illustration of why I love rugby league, but Jesus, it was cruel. Helen Hughes, maybe my sleep-deprived state, but crying happy tears, and Salford Devils aren't even my team.
She had a lot in that, though, didn't she?
Yeah.
Husband, Salford fan, her Hull FC fan.
Yeah, there was a lot of reasons for her to want Salford to win, wasn't there? I hope everything's okay, and you're not too sleep-deprived at the moment. Helen. Tim G Radio, never mind the players' mental health, this wasn't any good for mine. I've just watched it back and still feel sick. If Bobby Blair had just kicked the ball dead, we'd have trapped them down the other end and played the game out. He may become my Kevin Sinfield. The image of James Webster will stick with me for a long time. Horrible. I'm not sure how we'll fare next season and can see us staying in the lower tier for a long time. Owen Hughes, what just happened? I was completely resigned to going down, then Salford remember how to play rugby and KR forgot. Feel bad for them, but chuffed we are still in Super League, where we should be after the first half of our season. Ultra impressed with our boys, doing it with the injuries we got this game. Special mention, of course, to Gaz O'Brien for picking himself up after missing that conversion. Rich Wilkinson says, now then lads, what a crazy old game rugby league is. KR must be distraught. I don't think I've ever seen a victory turn to a loss with so much riding on it. The scenes at the end were disgusting and amateurish, but can't say I'm surprised from these clubs. The post-match narrative from Salford that justice was served due to being mistreated by the RFL is a further disgrace and shows a lack of class and accountability. It's a shame they didn't go down. Mark Hogan says, with 3 minutes to go, I'd accepted defeat and began thinking how shit next year would be. Griffin, who was absolutely awesome, made a break, passed to Evels, who was also awesome, and he was over. I was only celebrating a consolation try, as there was only 53 seconds left after the failed conversion, so the shitty feelings sunk in again. Griffin broke again, then Flanagan's worldy pass, and we was over again. O'Brien missed the pressure kick, but by God did he make up for it with that 50-metre beauty. Never seen any of that trouble at the end, as I was too busy being happy. Seen the videos when I got in, and seen how it was all started. Brackets wasn't a Salford fan. Out of order by everyone involved, but what I will say is the RFL created a Coliseum type game which was basically live or die, and then Hull mixed fans in the away end. Nobody should have been on the pitch at the end, but I think emotions got the better of everyone due to what was at stake and how it ended. Salford fans run on the pitch to celebrate, they didn't run on to cause trouble. Yeah, they were unsavoury scenes to say the least at the end.
Yeah, I've seen 3 videos,
right.
3 different videos, one from sort of each of the main stands. I've not seen one from the middle of the sea in that away end. But
you're playing out and tried hard enough.
But I've seen 3 videos from all the other stands that are pitch accessible.
Yes.
Or pitch viewable.
Without some sort of Viking log.
And shouldn't be laughing really, because it is awful. And I would say some of the reactions to it are over the top, and some of the reporting to it has been shall we say,
inflammatory,
irresponsible. But I don't think there's a widespread hooliganism problem in terms of I don't think there was anyone there who had turned up that day intending to cause trouble.
No.
I certainly think there's a lot of people in society and within rugby league and within the fan bases of all the clubs that quite like a bit of trouble if it comes along, because there's a lot of knobheads out there, Tom, unfortunately. I'm not buying into any of the rubbish about, well, they knew it was going to happen because it was £1 million game, so if you have a game like that, it's bound to cause trouble.
But did that the year before? Because Bradford and Wakefield fans were mixed in together,
and Wakefield fans were like, racist chanting and stuff, and Bradford fans still didn't start fighting with them and stuff. And I'm sure there would have been isolated incidents outside the stadium, around the town that night, that we just didn't hear about because we didn't see them for all to see, sort of thing. I reckon there's probably about 300 people or so on the pitch in the end. 200 people on the pitch.
I think that's a big estimate as well. Yeah,
say 200 people on the pitch, and about 25-30 were involved directly in causing or reacting to fracas.
Yeah,
and those people deserve to be punished. And there's already been 3 arrests been made.
Yeah,
I believe 2 men from Hull and 1 man from Salford have been arrested so far. There is a lot of there's 3 videos, and they are of good enough quality to identify some of the little pricks that seriously need sorting out with a massive scare in terms of a night in the cells and a big and something on the record that's gonna cause them to take stock and change how they want to approach the rest of their lives. And banning orders and that sort of thing all come into play. I would say of the Salford fans, it broke down, and I can't even blame the stewarding too much as well, because it wasn't expected, because everyone expected the game to sort of end, Salford fans to sort of be upset, Hull KR fans to be sort of happy, everyone shake hands on the pitch, and it'd be done. But
that started invading the pitch before it was even over as a competition. That's the problem.
Of excitement of how the game finished. It's not exactly a shock that when that Craig Johnson try scored, fans spilled out a little bit onto the pitch, and then they got them off the pitch, and then it was going to happen again if it's happened once. At that point, the only criticism I would have of the stewarding is get in front of the OKR fans. Don't worry, let the Salford fans get on the pitch. If any of them does anything untoward on that pitch, there's cameras around, it'll get picked up. Pick them up that way. Stop it getting escalating. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do that. It looked like a load of little
Herberts
from Hull KR came out of the same stand that the bulk of the Salford fans were in, and that's kind of where it instigated from. I would say there's Salford fans who I don't necessarily think deserve to be arrested or punished to that extent of any law, but certainly should have maybe temporary restrictions on attending games, or banning orders on away games, or I don't know, something. Those knobheads who walked over to the Hull KR fans and started giving it the signs and celebrating to them. I'm sorry, you're pricks. You don't belong with the rest of the Salford fans who were joyous and happy and celebrating in a good, positive way. So them pricks need sorting out, and then anyone who came on started throwing punches really needs sorting out too.
The thing is, in some cases, it's almost permissible given the behaviour of their owner as well, isn't it? When you see him bringing on a cheque that he's had made that says from the Bank of Redall for £1 million and stuff, and starts parading that around.
That's funny. That's funny.
No, it's not funny, Mark. It tells me the fucking level of contempt that he holds for the sport, to be honest with you. And he still doesn't believe that he was ever in the wrong, which he clearly was. Now, I'm not saying he deserves to get relegated because they've done enough to stay up. But there's an attitude there that I find
I think some things he
That I
does
find
fall the wrong
absolute- I
side, and
find
some things are
very
petty and
annoying.
annoying. I thought that in isolation was funny.
I thought